The past 6 months or so, I've been obsessed with the idea of being a feral woman. To me, that is being free, doing whatever you want, stop catering to the male gaze, decentering men, learning how to live truly for you. What if we just went like full feral?
Nothing is more mortifying than the fact that I just went to the grocery store and I walked by like two cute guys, and both of them I tried to do the thing where I look them dead in the eyes and I'm like looking them up and down and smiling like I don't know, and both of them like looked like they just saw a freaking ghost and like walked even faster. Like, this is why I'm involuntarily celibate.
6 months into what many called a major awakening, the trend of women pulling away from dating, embracing independence, and openly expressing their frustration has produced some surprising moments. One woman decided to test something by making strong eye contact and slowly looking two men up and down in a grocery store. Instead of reacting with confidence, both men quickly sped away as if they wanted no part of the situation. They didn't simply walk off, they practically rushed out of there. Another woman hadn't spoken to a man for 9 months. Yet after hearing something that brought back old feelings, she got in her car and drove to his house. She admitted her goal was to create problems in his life. Then there was a third woman who casually told a complete stranger at a phone repair shop that she supposedly operated a business involving men and used the profits to fund another personal project. These weren't isolated stories. 6 different women shared similar experiences on camera without coordinating with each other. For those who predicted this trend would lead to unusual behavior, these examples are being presented as proof that events are unfolding just as expected.
Men are so fucking weird. I actually can't anymore. I despair. So I went on a date with this lad like a year ago, and we had a lovely time. He was really nice. I liked him. Attractive. Sweet, funny, quite shy, but like in an endearing way. I'd met him at his work. Anyway, so we go on this date and then he asked me for a second date. I'm up for it. And then he sends me a message a couple of days later saying that he's thought about it and he just doesn't think that he's ready for anything because he'd gotten out of a relationship. Okay, fine, disappointing, whatever. So then turns out he still works where I had originally met him. So I saw him yesterday and, he just spends loads of the time staring at me, checking me out, then flirting with me. And he says to me at one point, "Oh, how was Brazil?" And I say, "Oh, it was good, thank you." And then I look on my Instagram. Bro, he doesn't even fucking follow me. Like, you're flirting with me. You're checking me out. You've just outed yourself as stalking me. Make a move, brother. One of my friends said to me, would you go on a second date? Well, I say I wasn't the one who wasn't ready for anything. I was into him. I can't do this anymore. I'm going to a fucking convert. I can't do it.
A man once said he wasn't interested in starting a relationship. Even so, he still found a way to check how a woman was doing while she was in Brazil, using an account she didn't even know he had. She wanted him to take the next step, but he insisted he wasn't ready. The situation never really changed, even though his actions suggested he was still paying attention behind the scenes. Sometimes the smartest decision is for both people to move on instead of staying caught in the same cycle.
I'm on my way to ruin a guy's life. This is a guy I was seeing maybe about 9 months ago. It was short-lived, but it was fun while it lasted. I liked hanging out with him. Recently, I've been seeing that he has been commenting on my social media. He has been trying to talk to me through friends. He's been messaging me through fake accounts. Forgot my password is a very powerful tool, FYI. And lastly, he's been spreading rumors about me. The rumors, nastiness, seems to really malign my character. It's so crazy because about a month ago, I had thought about him again. I was like, you know what? It's been a while since we talked. I miss hanging out with him. We used to have so much fun. We used to go out, hang out, do all kinds of things. We popped spicy cubes. He loved the spicy cubes. It was fun. And I thought maybe I should reach out. I got busy, so I never ended up reaching out. And instead, luckily, thank you, universe, I was told this information. So that guy may be trying to message me through fake accounts, message me through his friends' accounts. But I have heard that he has a girlfriend. So I'm on my way to their house to let her know everything. Wish me luck.
Think about the timeline for a moment. This man hadn't spoken to her in 9 months, the same amount of time it takes for a baby to be born. During that period, life kept moving. He entered a new relationship and continued living normally. Then she learned about his situation and believed fate had placed that information in front of her. Instead of leaving the past behind, she decided to drive to his home. After 9 months of silence and carrying unresolved emotions, she showed up at his door, determined to confront him. Whatever was said during that conversation remains unknown. But one thing is clear. The earlier claim that she no longer needed men seemed to disappear the moment she decided to make that trip.
I just got out of a store. I was getting my phone fixed and I was talking to this boomer woman, derogatory, sorry. But we always have the same conversation every single time. Doesn't matter who that boomer may be. And it went like this. So, how old are you? And I say 35. And the boomer says, oh, well, it's never too late to get married and have kids. And I say, oh, no. I don't want either of those things. And the boomer gets really pressed about it and is like, but having a child is the greatest joy of a woman's life. And I say, oh, the greatest joy of my life is debauchery and hedonism. That's the British pronunciation, by the way. And this woman goes, what do you mean? And I say, well, I go to bed super late. I go to bed at like 3 a.m. so that I can goon. And then I wake up at like 11. And kids need to get up really early for school. And I'm not waking up for that. She was like, what's goon? And I said, also, I really like to do drugs. Like sometimes I'll just drop 3 tabs of acid on like a Monday. And she's like, okay. And I was like, also, I lock men up in cages. And I feel like if I had a child, the kid would feel really bad for them and let them out of the cage. She was like, okay, I get it. I'm like, no, you don't. The men pay me to put them in the cages. And then I use that money to buy drugs.
I need a moment. What just occurred is that a 35-year-old woman in a phone repair shop, while waiting for her screen to be replaced, explained that she drops 3 tabs of acid on Mondays, operates a cage-based male containment facility, and uses the cage subscription fees to fund the acid. Meaning the cages are financing the acid that makes her okay with the cages. She has a business model, recurring revenue customers who keep coming back willingly. The woman at the counter said she gets it. Our girl said, no, you don't. Laughter. She is correct. Nobody gets it. The acid budget alone raises more questions than a full congressional hearing. But think about this. She is technically the only woman in this video who achieved genuine independence from men. She set the terms. The men are paying. So why is she explaining herself to a stranger in a phone shop? Because the woman who has actually convinced herself she doesn't need men doesn't bring it up. That conversation only happens when you're still mid-argument. The question is, who are you arguing with?
I feel like there is a real awakening happening for women. I don't think I'm the only one that I know lots of other women feel this way. And I think it's going to be so beautiful when we actually stop trying to fit into what society has created for us and actually be true to ourselves and live freely and fully and express who we are and make friends with our rage and use it to fight for what we deserve.
She said it's going to be so beautiful when women stop fitting into what society created for them. 6 women documented what that looks like. The grocery store is still open. The cage is still running. Someone's girlfriend is still answering her door. Clip 6.
We keep hearing about the male loneliness epidemic. And ironically, we keep hearing about it mostly from women who are very adamant that they don't care anything about it, yet continue to speak on it almost constantly. Not only that, but they also mention that it's entirely men's fault that they're lonely. But I have some serious doubts about that, because from what I have been seeing, there are actually a lot of men that are perfectly happy being single, and they're not lonely at all. Granted, there are some lonely men out there, but I would also point out that there are a lot of lonely women out there too, but we're not calling that an epidemic, because most women will say that they'd rather be alone than with someone who doesn't appreciate them. And I would actually wager that the same holds true for men, that they would rather be alone than with someone who doesn't treat them properly. So, gentlemen, please, are most of you alone because no one will date you? Or are you alone because you can't find anyone suitable to be in a relationship with? I have a feeling it's more of the latter.
Here is what I want the comments section to settle. The sexless women 3 drove to that girlfriend's house. Some of you think she was completely embarrassingly wrong. Some of you think the girlfriend deserved to know. Both arguments are valid. Both are also entirely beside the point of what she revealed about herself. Music on that drive. Drop it below. 6 women, 6 different stories, 6 different reasons they were done with men. One outcome. The Pharaoh era produced women who scare men in grocery stores, drive to strangers' houses over 9-month-old memories, and fund their Monday habit with cage revenue. That is not freedom. That is the most elaborate way to stay focused on men ever documented on camera. You cannot dancer something you're still filming yourself talking about. Every video is evidence. They made 6 of